See the difference between these two stickers? Same design, same printer, same Cricut, but this one looks more polished and professional, and this one looks like something's missing, like you would put it on a shirt. It doesn't really look like a sticker that you would cut with your Cricut machine. The difference is literally one click inside Cricut Design Space. It's called the offset tool, and if you're not using it, you are leaving the easiest upgrade in crafting sitting right there on your screen. Today I'm going to show you every single way to use the offset in Cricut Design Space, including sticker borders, shadow layers, text outlines. So let's get right into it. So before we get in, I just want to show you a couple things. So what I'm going to do is to go ahead and hide those designs. I'm going to go over to images and I'm going to type in Sweet Summer. Okay. And there are a lot of different designs available. The one that I used before, it looks different. I'm going to use a different one than the one that I used before. Please know that if you don't have Cricut access, you may not be able to use some of these images. So what I'm going to show you right now is I have this design. And let's say you want to create a sticker, okay? This tutorial right here is mostly for if you're creating stickers or gift tags or labels or something like that. So with this design as it currently stands, if you try to turn this into a sticker, what's going to happen is your Cricut machine is going to cut out each one of these pieces separately. It won't be a sticker that's, one piece that you can peel off and put it on your laptop or something like that. It's going to be this heart cut separate, this word sweet cut separate. Everything is going to be cut separately, okay? And so in order to create that offset, so you just have one full sticker, what you need to do is to click on this edit button in the top left corner. And if your Cricut Design Space looks different than mine, it means that you probably need to update your software. Okay, so let me just drag this back over here so you can see it. And now you see this offset tool underneath effects. So I'll click on that. And here you see a blue outline around my design. Now, you can move this dial to the right to make your offset much larger. You could also move it to the left to make it a little bit smaller. You could also move it over to the left side of the dial to kind of create I guess the opposite would be like an inset or something like that. Basically creating text on the inside. So what I'm going to do is to move my dial to where I feel comfortable. And I think that looks good. Well, let me move it over just a little bit more. Okay, I think this looks good. And I'm going to hit the apply button. So now you see that gray background, which is my offset. And what I'm going to do now is to just hide those little pieces. So you see these yellow, you can see through to the yellow backing. What I'm going to do now is to use the contour button to get rid of those pieces. So I'm going to go to the bottom right corner and click contour. And then I'm going to click hide all contours and then click apply. Okay, so now you can't see those, those yellow pieces through the back. Now, I'm actually going to delete this offset because let's say that you just want to include all of these. You don't want those little hearts kind of dangling off the end. I'm going to delete this offset and I'm going to go back over, click on offset, gonna make my offset just a little bit larger. And sometimes you do have to play with this to get your offset to where you want it to be. I also want to point out a couple things. So here you can see that my offset, the default is rounded corners. You could also change it to like square corners. You did see this top piece right here change just a little bit. I'm gonna go back to rounded and then click apply. Okay, so now we're only seeing this little piece show through and maybe a little piece right there. So I'm going to go over to contour again and I'm going to click hide all contours and then click apply. So now everything looks good. Okay, from here in the top, you can click on this dark square and change the color to whatever color you want it to be. Okay, and essentially that is going to be the background of your sticker. Okay, and finally, once you have your offset the way that you want it, you just want to select everything. So I'm just going to click and drag to select both pieces. Over in the layers panel, you can see that my offset layer is selected and my design layer. And then you want to click flatten. Now, the reason you click flatten is so that your Cricut machine knows to only cut around this white around the white offset. Okay, so that is how you take an SVG file. Maybe you found it on Etsy, maybe you found it on Creative Fabrica or wherever you got your SVG file from, and you want to turn it into a sticker. Basically, that's how you do it. So I'm going to hide this layer, and now what I'm going to do is just type up some text. So I am going to type my name. I'm going to put it in all caps. With this too, if you want to, change the font, you'll just go up top and find a font that you want to use. I'm not going to spend too much time doing this, but let's try this one and see how we like it. Okay. Gonna make that text a little bit larger. Same thing. If you want to add an offset, all you need to do is to click on edit and then you want to click on, let's go down. You have to click on offset here. You see that blue border around my design. Again, if you move it to the left, it makes your offset a little bit smaller. If you move it to the right, it makes your offset larger. Okay, so find an offset that you like, click the apply button. From there, you can change your offset color to be whatever color you want it to be. And if you want to get rid of those inside pieces, you'll just go down to contour and then you can click hide all contours, click apply, and there you go. Okay. If you want to keep those inside pieces, you can do that too. It's just a preference thing. Okay. Now I'm going to get rid of all of this. And let's say that you're creating, something like a monogram. So I'm going to type up my monogram letters here. Gonna make this larger. And it's the same thing, right? You have your monogram letters. If you wanted to change the font to be something a little bit differently or a little different, you could do that as well. I'm just choosing this font here. And then let's say that you want to go ahead and click edit in the top left corner, scroll down, click offset, and then, actually for these, I'm gonna make the offsets a little bit smaller, okay? So then I'll click apply. Go up top, change the color of the offset. Again, with that part, you can do it however you want to. So I'm going to change the color of my text too. So in my layers panel, I just clicked on the text box and then I'm going to change the color. So let's say I want that top layer to be pink or green or whatever color you want it to be, orange, blue. I mean, you can get really creative with this, okay? So I'll leave it at orange. Now, let's say that I want to shift my offset just a little bit. I clicked on that offset over here in the layers panel and I'm just shifting it to the right a little bit. Now, this is what the design is going to look like. Obviously, let's say that you're using heat transfer vinyl or um, you're using adhesive vinyl to put this like on a tumbler or a cup or something like that. This is where your layering comes into play, right? So you have your green layer and then you also have your orange layer and you would just kind of lay those how you want them to be, okay? So that's another way to use the offset tool on text. Okay, so let's say that you pulled in an image of Bluey or some other cartoon character or whatever. I'm gonna show you how to do an offset on those too. So I'm gonna go to my uploads, click on view all. And I'm just going to type the word Bluey to find him. And let's say that I want to use, we'll just go with this one here. Okay, so I have this image. I'm going to add it to my canvas. I'm going to click view down at the bottom. Then I'm going to click cancel down at the bottom. Now that Bluey image should be on my screen. Okay, so let's say that I just want to add a little extra offset around him so that the design does not cut right up against him. Process is the exact same. You click edit, offset, choose your offset size. You can make it larger, you can make it smaller. Okay, and then click apply. From here, again, change your color. You can change it to be whatever color you want it to be. For this, I'm just going to choose black. I feel like that makes it stand out a little bit more. And then again, if you're using a character or a picture or something like this, you want to make sure that you select your entire design and then you flatten it, okay? Because again, this is going to be a print and cut. We only want our Cricut machine to cut around that offset that we just added. And basically, that's how you do it. Okay, finally, let's say you have an image of a family member, loved one, maybe even your pet, and you want to create an offset. I'm going to show you how to do that too. So let me just go to my uploads and um, let me see. Okay, right here. Here's an image of me. I'm going to click the view button down at the bottom, click cancel, and Here's a picture of me. I uploaded the picture from my phone. I took the background off of it. Now, let's say that I'm creating this, as part of a birthday something something for myself. I don't know, gift tag or whatever. Again, process is the exact same. Click on this edit button, click on offset, choose what offset size you want. This offset is from a previous offset that I created, but again, drag it to the right to make it larger. Drag it to the left to make it smaller. Okay. Once you have the design, the size that you want it, or the offset, the size that you want it, you can click the apply button. You can change the color of your offset. So I'll just change that color to black, or whatever color you want it to be, based on, what you're doing with your project. And let me just scoot over some so you can see. Okay. So white, you can use whatever color you want to use. And then I'll just, select my image, also select the offset. You can see both of those are selected over in the layers panel, and then I'll click flatten. Okay. Now, one thing you may be noticing is like, how did I get my background to be yellow? Also, what happened to my grid lines? So to change the color of your canvas, you just um, come down here to the bottom right, if you can see where my mouse is, click where it says background color, and from there you can choose any background color that you want to use, okay? Also, to get rid of your grid lines, you want to come up top in the top left. So right here, what this little square is, right above that zero, you're going to click on that. If you click it one, two, three, it makes the background or the grid lines go completely away. Okay, so I hope that you all learned something about how to use the offset tool in Cricut Design Space. Again, I showed you how to add offsets to stickers, also how to add offsets to text or fonts that you're using, but also how to add it to, characters and pictures that you may bring into your Cricut Design Space. So the offset tool, again, is genuinely one of the most underused features in Design Space, and I promise once you start using it, you're gonna put it on everything. If you're just getting started in Design Space and you want a full walkthrough of all the tools, not just offset, I have a complete beginner's guide linked right here. That's your next step. And if this helped you, hit that like button so other Cricut beginners can find it. I'll see you in the next one.